and welcome to Katie's Insight, where I give my insight on all kinds of things, including news, business, finance, politics, entertainment, but most importantly, right now, stimulus. And I have some updates. You saw the title. I have a pretty big update for some of you, so I'm very, very excited to give you that news. First of all, y'all, can you let me know, sound off in the comments if my mic is super off. I've gotten this new computer, and since then, no matter what we do, we're having mic issues. So I'm trying some different things. Like I have to have this in-between thing where before I plug the mic in, because Apple decided to change everything around to charge everybody more money. So just let me know how the sound is for you. If it's cutting out, I'm doing my best over here, so my apologies. But let's talk about stimulus and where we're at. So we've been given some pretty big deadlines coming up with stimulus. In fact, there's one coming up right around the corner I will be talking about, so stay tuned for that because this is going to be a big one. It will probably be in the next video. But it looks like December 11th-ish is going to be the date that we have to get something done by. Now, we have the Democrats and the Republicans, and both are now saying and championing we want to do something. Unfortunately, from my perspective right now, it all looks like just one big dog and pony show. So we have the Democrats who've been screaming they want a $3.4 trillion bill, won't do anything. We could have had a $1.8 to $1.9 trillion bill, but they recently said no, they're not going to piecemeal. All of a sudden, they're willing to take a $908 billion deal from the Problem Solvers Caucus. That's this bill I've been talking about that just came out. One second. Ew! Sorry, if I look really red, it looks really weird. Allergies. I'm so tired of allergies, or in my situation, histamine issues. I hate my body has to be a body. But stimulus. So, now we have the Democrats saying they're going to go ahead and jump ship and go on that bill. But the Republicans so far, Mitch McConnell has his own bill. Now, I've heard the price tag of anywhere from $300 billion to $600 billion. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, we've heard the Republicans say that $908 billion is still way too much money, even though one of the bills that they put together in the first place was for $1 trillion. Now, keep in mind, we also have, and thank God for Steve Mnuchin, y'all, because we recently had Steve Mnuchin come out and take back about $450 billion from the Fed for programs to help people that weren't really helping people and to help keep the economy up. And he took that to give back to the Congress to repurpose. So even though it says $908 billion, looks like it could be closer to the $450 billion range, which I think Republicans would be more apt to get into. But right now, unfortunately, Mitch McConnell is not necessarily about that Problem Solver Caucus bill. So we have one party on and one party off, and we have just a handful of days, guys. The next 7 days are going to be very crucial as to what happens. So if you want to stay completely up to date and get really inside info, make sure and subscribe to this channel so you can do just that. And also, if you're looking for stimulus help in your area, because guys, I'm going to tell you right now, and we'll get into this, the states are now starting to step up and help people with checks, with rent, with bills. Make sure and go to my page, Katie's Insight, like the page, join the group, Katie's Corner will be changed to Katie's Insight soon. Go in there, ask all the stimulus questions you want, guys. We are here to help you with as much as we can. It's all free, just a group of people. We're all trying to help each other. That's all it is. So here's where we are at. Can we expect anything with stimulus to happen right now, or stimulus checks, stimulus help? I would say I would not hold your breaths. Because again, it's not about one party, the other, or the White House. It's getting all three of these pieces moving together. And unfortunately, right now, we don't know that that's going to happen in the next 7 days. Look at what they couldn't do in months and months and months. When is it? The last one was passed in March. So we have April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Look at what they've not gotten done in 9 months. In 9 months, it got so bad that President Trump had to sign executive orders to try to help people. I know it didn't go far enough. I know it wasn't enough. At the same time, that's all we had. We just had whatever he could get and the money that he could free up. So where does this leave all of us right now with stimulus? Where are we at? We're going to really have to rely on our states. And you might think that's scary, but here's the really interesting thing. States are starting to step up and help, like I've been telling you. And many states are issuing their own forms of stimulus. Remember, guys, the CARES Act money, right? The states were all given CARES Act money, and a lot of them didn't spend much of that money, because they thought they were going to be getting more, so they didn't know exactly where to allocate it, how to spend it, much less do we really understand what this pandemic is, when it's over, how to necessarily do what we need to do in the time frames. So they have to spend this money, many of them, by the end of December, per how the CARES Act is written. And many of them now are stepping up to help people in their states. If you saw the title of this video, there are $1,200 stimulus checks coming. I'm going to go into that. Now, one thing I do want to mention about these bills being passed back and forth. Right now, this Problem Solvers Caucus, that's the one that looks like it has the most legs of getting anywhere. No stimulus checks. I've been detailing this in the videos. I've heard people getting really upset about this, or people say that's not right, because I'll talk about stimulus. So let me kind of explain how this works. Remember, guys, the Problem Solvers Caucus, this is a starting negotiation. This is a bill to start the negotiations. So yes, it is possible, even though the way it is written right now, there are no stimulus checks, right? It is still very, very possible that in this scenario, we are going to get stimulus checks and we're going to get stimulus help. Because if this can be come to an agreement on, and if this can pass in the next 7 days, right? In the next 7 days, then the two sides can negotiate to put stimulus checks in there, because one good thing we know is both sides have said repeatedly, we want stimulus checks. And this is a very, very good sign and a very good thing. So we might still be getting stimulus, and it could happen in December, y'all. We could actually get that little windfall before Christmas, and we could actually have Christmas with our families. Possibly. I'm not saying that's going to happen, because remember, this is the federal government, and at this point, I wouldn't trust any of them for anything. But this is good signs and good movement in the right direction. Now, I want to go ahead and point out, some of you are getting $1,200 stimulus checks. So let's go ahead and let's go into that. So this is from Newsweek.com, and then I have some other things I want to go into with this. It says, for Houston, Texas, Houston could send $1,200 checks to residents amid federal stimulus failure. Now just keep listening, because this is going to get good. Houston, Texas may soon offer residents relief checks of $1,200 as national efforts to pass a new virus stimulus package continue to falter. Under the new proposal, the city would open a $30 million direct relief fund for those struggling financially due to the pandemic, along with another $10 million to help small businesses, according to a Tuesday report from the Houston Chronicle. Harris County, which contains Houston, launched a similar program in November. People can utilize that on whatever, utility, rent, you name it. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner told the paper. We're doing everything we can with the dollars we've been given to try to meet the needs wherever the people need them. So this is very good, guys, and I have more info too. The funds administered to up to 23,750 residents by Houston nonprofit Baker Ripley could help some of the 25,000 city residents who reportedly applied but failed to receive funds from the county program. Exact eligibility requirements have yet to be announced, and the proposal is expected to be discussed at a city council meeting on Wednesday. The program would use funds that the city received from the Virus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, the CARES Act, earlier this year. Of the $30 million, $25.8 million would go to residents, and the remaining $1.5 million would be set aside as a payment to Baker Ripley. The initial disbursement would be in the amount of $10 million. Mayor Turner recognizes the need is great during the pandemic. Mary Benton, Turner's director of communications, said in a statement to Newsweek, people have lost jobs, face illness as a result of the virus, and are struggling to pay rent and put food on the table. Not to mention who we always leave out, the chronically sick and the disabled, who live on next to nothing while living in a state of being sick and having almost no help. But don't worry, because they're not productive members of society. They don't really get any forms of boost-up stimulus, do they? It really drives me nuts the way we treat our sick, our children, and our elderly in this country. It really, really disheartens me. This is not the first time the city of Houston is implementing programs using CARES Act money to help people, Benton said. There have been 2 rental assistance packages, money for small business, money for the arts and musicians who cannot perform at events because venues have shut down. Now, in addition to financial strain, many residents of the Lone Star State have experienced several health impacts during the pandemic. Of course they have. There were 1,238,752 confirmed cases of the virus in Texas as of Tuesday, the most of any U.S. state, according to a Johns Hopkins University. At least 21,896 residents have died due to the virus. More than 8 months after the passage of the CARES Act, efforts to pass another relief bill have remained stalled due to partisan disagreements in Congress. Sticking points have included both details of specific provisions and the overall size of a bill, with Democrats favoring a proposal costing an amount similar to the CARES Act and Republicans preferring a much smaller bill, as always. The $1,200 checks that many Americans received through the CARES Act earlier in the year accounted for less than $300 billion of the $2.2 trillion bill. However, relief checks were not part of the $908 billion partisan compromise introduced on Tuesday. Their proposal was rejected by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who favors a $500 billion plan that also does not include direct payments. Regardless of direct payments, any relief that remains from leftover CARES Act funds is likely to expire soon, unless a new bill is passed. That's what I've been saying, y'all. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has demanded that the Fed Reserve turn more than $400 billion in unused funds from the programs if it remains unused by the end of December, insisting that the deadline is legally mandated and that Congress should use the funds to pass a new bill. So guys, now we have an update to this. So I want to give you the update, and this is very good news. Houston City Council approves $28 million more in relief funds. So this is a breaking update on this. So it says, more help is on the way for some Houstonians. Houston, Texas City Council passed an additional $20 million in direct assistance Wednesday morning to help those who qualify. Up to $1,200 in payments will go to as many as 23,750 people. The money will be received by the end of the year, though the city has not determined who is eligible or how they will disperse the funds. The payments come from the CARES Act, the Virus Aid Relief and Economic Securities Act, provided by the federal government. The act was signed into law in March to help provide economic relief during the virus pandemic in the United States. The city must spend all of the $405 million it received in federal funds by the end of the year or forfeit any unspent money. Mayor Sylvester, it's hard to say for me, Mayor Sylvester Turner told ABC 13 Tuesday he is confident they will spend all of the money by January 1st, 2021. Still, it's important to note that the people who will be receiving the money have already been selected through programs with Baker Ripley and Catholic Charities. By the end of the week, Baker Ripley will know if additional Houstonians can apply for this help. Baker Ripley does also have existing and available funds for both rental relief and utility payments. The rental payment could help as much as $1,900, and the utility help as much as $400. Applications can be found on Baker Ripley's website, so make sure to go to Baker Ripley. That's BakerRipley. That's the website. City Council also passed an additional $10 million to help small businesses, so it looks like y'all are going to get your own forms of PPP help. Over the last several months, Baker Ripley has worked with the city of Houston and Harris County to operate rental assistance programs. So guys, this is good news. This is very good news for people. So let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and go to that website that I was just talking about, Baker Ripley's website, and see what some of those requirements are. And then I'll also talk about the Catholic Charities. So if you go to bakerripley.org, it says recovery starts now. Baker Ripley is holding in the line for our communities, quickly responding to the most critical needs while remaining committed to the safety of our staff and neighbors. Our mission does not stop. Recovery starts now, together and with you. So it says your gifts help family all over Houston learn, belong, and be well. Our greatest need right now is to people to help support. So the first page you go to, it's basically soliciting, trying to get donations, but they have other things on there as well. So for instance, there's 3 lines on the upper right hand side. You go to that, there is a tab for community resources for the virus. And so this says, the health and safety of our employees and neighbors is our top concern. We are closely watching all local, state, and national updates regarding what's going on. And it says, please check their social media for different things. And then it says, here it is, current Baker Ripley services. Some services and programs are operating on a limited basis with safety measures in place. And then you can see they have information for rentals. So this is very, very good. So you go here and you can see it, actually an Excel spreadsheet will pop up and you will see all the things they have to help. So they have a hotline for people who may not be in the country in the way they're supposed to, please infer, because YouTube will be mad at me. They have stuff for legal consultations, direct legal help. It looks like there's a lot of stuff for, again, people who may or may not have issues being in the country. Now, the rental assistance program that you can see here, which they have as well. So it says Harris County provides $40 million in funding, and the city of Houston provided $20 million, which will be distributed to participating landlords on behalf of eligible tenants. Tenants whose landlords agree to the program terms may also apply for rental assistance for past due rent. We are now receiving applications for rental assistance for past due rent for September, October, and November. There's a click here button to start. And it says we're no longer accepting applications for rental help for the months of April through August. So it looks like it's going to be just for the last 3 months, but we can do that, right? And it says the rental assistance program will end on December 30th, 2020, or when funds are no longer available. So, and then it says, are you a tenant? Apply now. Are you a landlord? Apply now. And it has different information on that. So that's something, guys, that you can really utilize. But as of everything, when it comes to these types of programs, it's always going to be the early bird gets the worm with this kind of stuff. So make sure you get into these programs as early as possible. I'm also going to talk about another workaround for this. But I do want to go into quickly this rental assistance application. Then we'll go into some more info on how to help everybody everywhere. We are now receiving applications for rental assistance for past due rent for September, October, and November. The program can pay up to $1,900 in past due rent, even when tenants receive Baker Ripley virus rental assistance in the past. So even if you've done this in the past, you can still do it, provided that the landlord is enrolled in the program. To apply, you will need to complete the tenant application, which includes these steps below. We're no longer accepting applications for rental assistance for, like I said, April and August. The virus rental assistance program will end on December 30th. So what it does is it says select your landlord from the participating landlord directory. I would assume if your landlord is not involved in this and you owe them money, contact your landlord and get your landlord to sign up for this so you guys can do payments through this program. Submit the following information: name, rental property information to include the rent amount and past due amounts, household size, and household monthly income information. And then that wants you to certify that you meet eligibility requirements. And so it has a whole list of requirements that you have to do. And you also have to do proof of identity, proof of residence within the rental property, and then there's a few more things as well, and then you can start the application. So tenant eligibility requirements, very quickly, I'll touch on this. So it looks like your total household income on or after April 1st in 2020 must be below the 60% of area median income, the AMI. And see the 60% AMI income chart below, so there's a chart where you can check. No member of the household has received virus-related assistance provided by Harris County and administered by Catholic Charities or the Greater Houston Community Foundation. The funding is for $1,200 to $1,500. And so then it says, so that was for Harris County, City of Houston Rent Assistance Program eligibility requirements. So this one says, total household income prior to February 2020 must be below 80% of the area median income. So, and then there's a chart that you will see where you can see exactly what that falls into. And then there's also underneath that, there are more programs that can help. So I see stuff for like Medicaid, Children's Health Insurance, Harris Health Gold Card, National School Lunch Program, SNAP, WIC. You know, there's a Head Start. There's a lot of different programs on here. So there's a lot to go ahead and check in if you are in Texas. Now, if you don't want to go through that avenue, right, and you're in Texas, or if you are around the country, listen up because I have information for all of you. Much of the federal government is working with different Catholic charities. So make sure in your states, in your areas, in your wherever, talk to your Catholic churches, figure out what Catholic charities are working with different virus relief types of things in your state, in your city, and in your county. Make sure and do that. Look, I don't even care if you're Catholic. Who cares? Honestly, I grew up Catholic. I'm very let me put it this way. I'm very mad at the Catholic Church because they have not been so nice to women and children in the past. I don't really want to get into it because I am happy that they're helping people, but let's not forget all the things that they've done. So with that being said, even if you're not Catholic, who cares? If you need the help, go get the help. Those people more than owe us for everything they've done to us. They more than owe us a lot. And I'm not talking about the regular people that go to church trying to be good people. I'm talking about all the people in the organization at the top who've done the weird stuff. Wow, kind of like the government. Interesting how they all kind of work together, isn't it? Look, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth at the same time. We need to know what we're taking from and where. So, I get people not wanting to do it, but not just in this area, because you saw they said the Catholic charities. Everywhere I've been looking, when I look up stimulus money and where to find it in different places, it looks like they're always working with different Catholic charities. So make sure and do that. And the other things, guys, choked on air. The other things, guys, make sure you look things up by your state, your city, and your county. Just like this article said, the majority of the CARES Act money these states are getting, it expires, and they have to give it back if they don't spend it by the end of December 2020. So many of them are rushing to get it out to help people because we don't know that the federal government is going to help anybody. So look things up, do Google searches, CARES Act funding, stimulus help, stimulus checks for your city, your county, your state. Now, whatever your city is, I would also look up this city, the biggest metropolitan city that's closest to you. So for instance, I'm in Oklahoma City right now. I used to live in a place called Norman, Oklahoma. Norman is in the metropolitan of Oklahoma City, but it's not Oklahoma City. I'd be looking up to see, did Norman get any money? How much did they get? What programs do they have? And look up for Oklahoma City as well, because you might be able to apply for both. So make sure and look that up as well. If you are a struggling business owner, many places as well are doing their own forms of PPP loans or different types of loans that you can do. So again, do different things like business loans, like disaster business loans, CARES Act, virus relief for your county, your city, your state, closest metropolitan. See what pops up. Or if you need grants, grants.gov. A lot of people are still overlooking grants.gov. Now, there are tons of grant websites out there. Literally just look up, business grant websites. You'll see a ton of stuff come up. But one is grants.gov. They have grants for I say this in every video. They have stuff for everything, guys. They have grants for all different types of businesses, whether you're minority owned, whether you're women owned, veteran owned, because those are the people that, of course, got overlooked when it came to the PPP. Not the most vulnerable of society, right? Not the ones that already get the crap end of the stick most of the time. But make sure and look up those things because on grants.gov, because you could have all these different grants that you could be able to get and have access to that you aren't aware of as well. If you have a different niche for your business, got a bowling business, you got, you're a hairstylist, whatever. There's so much on there and so much of it is still being underutilized. So take a look and look for grants. And again, look for grants in your area. There's a lot I'm telling you, there's in December. This is why I keep talking about in my videos and my headlines. I keep talking about December stimulus money is here. There's a lot of stimulus money to be found if we just look through the cracks and go through the right way. I feel like this is one thing I'm good at. I'm good at finding opportunities and money where it doesn't exist or where it's hard to find, because I feel like when you go through a lot of stuff in life, you end up understanding, when you are in a situation where you're not somebody in society that has a leg up, a veteran, a minority, a woman, you have to find ways around the privileges you don't get to have, right? And as a result, you kind of have to either go find some magic or learn how to make magic happen wherever you go. So I'm really good at being able to look through the nooks and crannies and find the loopholes, the positive loopholes that can help work for you and other people. Now, obviously, whenever it's a loophole, you want to make sure that this is a healthy thing in respect to you and the people that you're around, right? But guys, I'm telling you, if you really turn that button on that says, I'm going to go out there and create magic in my life, you turn that button on and you start to really dive in and look for stuff. Stuff will start to appear before you. Now, by the way, in me saying that, trust me, I get down. I get absolutely down. For instance, I've been, and I won't go too much into detail, but as a result of some of the personal things going on in my life, I've been right now dealing with a lot of anxiety. A lot. Before I filmed this video, tons and tons of anxiety. You probably can't tell though, because I have a really good filter being able to turn it off, turn on, and give you guys what you need. So I want you to understand, I've created opportunities and things. I've been in panic attacks, still blowing things out, getting things done. I'm sure you guys have too. In fact, people they've gone through different things, or they've had anxiety or different emotions, which at this point, who doesn't with everything going on? Who isn't going through that, I'm able to channel it and focus it. So, it's funny because I'm not going to go too much into this, but I used to be a former New Ager, and there's this forced positivity, when it comes to that, where everything, don't give in to any fears or anger. Don't give in to any negative, lower emotions, or you're going to attract everything into your life. There was a lot of that. You have to be constantly happy and okay with everything, but that's not realistic because we're human beings with emotions, right? So as a result of that, I'm not saying you have to just be super peppy and positive and go out there and take the world by the tail and make it happen. Because you know what? Sometimes you can do everything you can and it doesn't work, and that just happens. However, the best way I have found to try to get things together or get opportunities or help myself out of a situation when I don't have a leg up, being somebody chronically sick and a woman in society with very little family help, then this is what I do. I look and I research and I go through the nooks and crannies and I try to find the hidden gems, the hidden money places. And there is money to get if you need it right now. Just keep looking. And I know some people have said, I've looked in my city, I've looked in my state, there's nothing. And I'm not saying you are wrong. However, I'm going to tell you, do the searches daily. especially like if you're not working, right? If you're on unemployment, you got nothing else to do. Not to say you're not stressed and anxious, of course you are. But what I would do is every morning, make it a disciplined practice. Wake up every day, search for money in your areas, those 3 to 4 searches I told you about, and do several different types of searches. Stimulus help, stimulus checks, CARES Act funding, virus funding. Just do several searches. Have alerts, get Google alerts, and check every single day, because you might wake up one day and suddenly your city's on the verge of passing something, and you're gonna wanna know. You don't wanna know when it happens, you wanna know as much as you can before. And why? Because much of this is gonna be on a first come, first serve basis, and we wanna make sure you are the early birds that get the worm. So keep up with this if this is stuff and money that you really, really need. Sorry to go on that little diatribe, but I just kind of wanted to bring that up because I really want to stress to you guys, because I've heard some people go, okay, well, you'll say stimulus checks are passing, but it's just for this area. It doesn't help me. The information I'm giving you, though, can help you for your areas if you keep on top of it. And as always, I'm going to be on this channel trying to break news and keep on top of where you guys can find money as well. But I want to make sure if I can't get to everything, because Lord knows, how many cities and counties are there? There's only so much I can do between me and hey, British Gray, who finds so much stuff for everybody. Give her some love. She is the killer moderator that we have over on the Katie's Corner Facebook, and she is helping people find money everywhere. And so she has really been killing it. But I do my best to give you as much information as I can, and British does her best to help everybody. But make sure and take that initiative and look for yourself as well, because I just want to see you guys do well. I just want to see everybody come out of this the best way they can, and I'm going to continue to dedicate myself and this channel to doing that as much as I possibly can. Okay guys, if you like this video, you found this helpful, please help me and my channel grow and give this a big thumbs up. Like this video, subscribe, hit notifications so you can be notified what's coming in the pipeline for you and your stimulus money. Also guys, sound off in the comments. What areas do you need help specifically? Is there help in your area, and can you share that? Have you heard of other stimulus help in other areas? Sound off in the comments, and also join Katie's Corner and let us know in there too so it can help other people. And let us know where you are hurting and we will all try to help you. And guys, please share this content with anybody you know that's struggling right now. People who are on unemployment, waiting for unemployment, stimulus checks, SBA loan and grant issues, everything in between. Got tons of tools and tons of resources on this channel and Facebook to be able to help you guys during this difficult time, and I would love nothing more than to do just that. Okay guys, I think I'm going to end the video here now because I think that is all I have to say on this. Wait for the next videos. I have more good information coming out, and I'm going to continue to find you guys stimulus money. So thank you so much. As I say every time, I'm so blessed, and I'm so continually humbled by every single one of you. You've helped me have a life right now. I will talk about this one day, but this is not a joke when I say between last year and this year, I think I submitted over, what was it? I know it was somewhere between 12 and 1,500 applications. I know you think I'm crazy and that sounds like a lot. I'm a very aggressive person when it comes to building what I want. And very few of those things actually either got back to me or were workable opportunities. Remember, I'm also somebody chronically sick, so I have to be able to do it within my illness. This is one of the few opportunities that came up, and this is one that, because of you guys, has allowed me to just get by and pay the bills and continue my fight with the former company and do everything I need to do. To say I'm so humbled and I feel so blessed by you guys is an understatement. I can never thank each and every one of you enough for watching. I am so grateful, and I'm going to continue to dedicate my life and dedicate this channel as much as I can to helping you guys as well, just as much as you've helped change my life. Okay guys, take care, blessings, hugs, mwah, and kisses. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.